everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet one of these lovely little baby cardigans. This is what's known as the Granny Hexie cardigan, and it's really easy to make once you get the hang of it. It's just using double crochets in the granny stitch. So if you want to grab some yarn, we can get started. I'm going to be using this blue and white yarn, and I'll show you how to change colour. The yarn I used for the pink one was a colour changing yarn, like a variegated yarn, so we didn't have to worry about changing colour or sewing in any ends. But for this one I will show you how to do it. So we're going to start off by making a slip knot, and you can do that however you prefer. And then we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Insert your hook into the first chain, grab the yarn and pull through both those loops, and then chain 3, which counts as our first double crochet. We're now going to put another 2 double crochets into the circle. So yarn over, insert your hook through the circle, grab the yarn and pull through. You'll have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's a double crochet. I'm talking in US terms. In the UK that would be a treble crochet. So yarn over again, insert your hook into the circle and do another double crochet. Now these 3 stitches count as our first granny cluster. We need 6 of these granny clusters in this circle, separated by a chain 2. So we're going to chain 2 and do another 3 double crochets into the circle. That's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2 and do your 3 double crochets, and keep doing this until you have 6 clusters of 3 separated by a chain 2. So every time you do your 3, chain 2 and then make your next 3, and I will meet you back when I'm almost finished my 6 clusters of 3. Okay, I've got my 6 clusters of 3. I'm going to chain 2 and then insert my hook into the top of that first double crochet, not the chain 3, the first double crochet, and slip stitch. We're then going to turn our work, insert our hook into that space. Now we're going to be crocheting into the spaces, so insert your hook into that space, grab the yarn and pull through those 2 loops, then chain 2. That's our first double crochet. Gonna yarn over, insert our hook into that space, do another double crochet and another double crochet. So that is our first cluster of 3. We're now going to chain 2 and place another 3 double crochets into that space. That's 3 double crochets, and then we're going to move to the next space and do 3 double crochets. 2, 3, and then into this next space we're going to place 3 double crochets, a chain 2 and 3 double crochets. No, sorry, we're not going to do that. We're going to, after doing your 3 double crochets, you'll chain 2 again and place 3 double crochets into the same space. One, 2, 3. Then we'll move to the next space, and again you'll do 3 double crochets, a chain 2 and 3 double crochets into each space all the way around till you get to the last space, and I will meet you back when we're almost when I'm almost to the end to show you what we're going to do next. So it's 3 double crochets, a chain 2 and 3 double crochets all into one space. and then you will move to your next space and do exactly the same thing. So I'll see you when I've worked my way around. Okay, I've done all my double crochets and my chain 2 in between it. We only chain 2 when we go into the space. When you move to the next one, we don't chain, so we're not going to chain anything now. We finished our clusters. We're just going to go to the top of that first double crochet and slip stitch and turn our work. And this round will be I'll do like in white, and then I'll show you how to change colour. So we're inserting our hook into the first space here and doing a single crochet and chain 2. And because like here are the corners and here this is going to be the sides, so we're going to place 2 more double crochets into this side space, and then we're going to move to the corner. Like this is a corner, this is a side. You can see it's flat there, and this is a corner. What you can do is in the corner spaces, you can place a stitch marker as we go along so you don't get confused. So this is a side, we've done 3 double crochets. Now we're moving to a corner and we're going to do 3 double crochets, a chain 2 and 3 double crochets to make the corner. So it's 3 double crochets, a chain 2 and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And here we have a space which is on the side and not the corner, so in that space we'll do 3 double crochets, and then we come to a corner here, so it's 3 double crochets, a chain 2 and 3 double crochets. It's 1, 2, 3, chain 2 and 3. And here is a side space, so it's 3 double crochets into that space. So you're going to work your way around doing exactly this. Where the corners are, it's 3 double crochets, a chain 2 and 3 double crochets. Place a stitch marker in there if you're not sure. And then the next space there is a side space, so it's just 3 double crochets. As we go on, the corners will be more prominent and you'll have more like single crochets, like these single spaces on the side. So work your way around. You're next going into a corner with your 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets, and then just 3 double crochets before the next corner. So work your way around how I've been showing you. Pause the video and I will meet you back when I'm almost to the end of this round. Okay, I've just done my final 3 double crochets on the side, and I'm going to, sorry, no, this is a corner. I need another 3 single crochets in there. I forgot I started on a side. Okay, so there's my 3 double crochets, and then find the top of the first double crochet and do a slip stitch. So you can see that looks a hexy shape, and what we're going to do is just do a slip stitch and pull your yarn up. So we're going to change colour now. Leave enough so that you can weave that in after. And because we're alternating turning on our rows, I'm just going to turn that over, grab my blue yarn and just make a slip knot. And then I'm going to start in a corner, actually, not on the side. So any corner, insert your hook into the corner, grab the yarn. You'll have 2 loops on the hook, just yarn over and pull through those 2 and do a chain 2. That counts as our first double crochet. Yarn over and do another 2 double crochets, a chain 2 and another 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and whoops, and 3. So we've got our corner done. You can place a stitch marker in there if you want. And now if you look at the side for this round, we have 2 spaces on the side. So we just put 3 double crochets into each of those. 1, 2, and 3. Move to the next space and do another 3. And as you go round, the next round you'll have 3 of those, and after that you'll have 4, and it will continue on like that. But the corners you will always work the same with 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets. So you can work this pattern now for whatever size you're making it for. I can't tell you how many rows to actually do because different yarns and different baby sizes vary. So you're going to have to kind of like take a chest measurement and like measure up yours as you go along. I'm on the side now, so I'll just show you once more. It's 3 double crochets. And to the next side space, 3 double crochets. And then you'll work your corner. So this is how it's looking. We're on the wrong side here. I've pulled that tail in just to tighten it up, but we'll sew that in later. So you continue round now, changing colour or making it in one colour for however many rows you need to do. So when you fold it in half, you'll see that is like 1/2 of the cardigan, and from one side to the other should measure half of what the chest measurement of your baby is. So for example, if the chest measurement is 30 centimeters for the whole chest, 15 would be half of the chest size, and then you'd want like a half again, so 7.5 centimeters. That's just a rough idea. For my cardigan here, which was to fit a 3 to 6 month old baby, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds. So you continue on, and I'll be back when I'm almost finished how many rounds I want to do for the size. I'm making mine for like a 3-month-old baby. So you continue on and I will meet you back here soon. Okay, I'm doing my last cluster of 3 here, and then I'm going to slip stitch to the top of that chain, and that is enough. I've done 11 rows for mine. So what you need to do here is, if you're going to, we need to do one more row down the side here, so that we have like a little bit of space in the back for the neck, like the baby's neck. So if you're going to continue in the same colour, you need to slip stitch into the next stitch and into the next one, and keep slip stitching in each stitch until you get to the corner. Now if you're continuing in the same colour as to what you are at this point, when you've done enough rows for the size of your baby, you're going to do a chain 2 if you're staying with the same colour, but I'm going to change to blue. So I'm just going to do a slip stitch and draw my yarn up and just snip there. But at this point you would chain 2, but I'm going to join my yarn in exactly the same place and insert my hook into that space. Grab the yarn and just pull through. That would count as my first stitch. So we just need a chain 2. You would have done a chain 2 with the same colour if you were sticking with the same colour that you got to this point in. So I mean, I'll just show you when it's folded. Let's just get it right. when it's folded, that's the sort of size. This is for half of the cardigan. So this is going to be the back actually, like down this side here. So you've got your chain 2, or you've either rejoined your yarn and done a chain 2, and then we're going to just put 2 double crochets into that space for a total of 3. That would be our first cluster, and then just follow our pattern all the way down. So just put in 3 double crochets into each space along here, and when you get to the end, actually I'll show you what we do at the end. So do your 3 double crochets into each space all the way along, and I'll be back when I get to almost the end. Okay, I've reached almost the bottom. We just have this corner space here, and what we will do is place 3 double crochets into that space. So 1, 2 and 3, and that finishes off that extra side down what will be the back of our cardigan. So then we'll just chain 1 and draw our yarn up and just slip. So now we have the back of our cardigan. If we fold it like that, you will see that you just have like this extra row here, which leaves space for the baby's neck. So I'm going to place that aside for now. What you need to go and do is make a second side exactly the same, and before you get to that extra row, come back, like so, pause the video and go off and make that. But I have my second piece already made here, and I've single crocheted into that space there, and what I'm going to do is just do a chain 1 and draw my yarn up. So for this part now, we are going to, that's the wrong side, that's the right side. So what we're going to do is we're going to join our yarn into any corner, and going to join our yarn into any corner. I'm going to be using blue again. So start with a slip knot, and we will, where are we? We'll just go into the corner here and just have our work on the right side. Insert your hook into the corner and pull up a loop and just pull through those 2 and chain 1. That will be our chain 1, our first like double crochet rather. So we have our chain 2 in the corner space, and we're going to find the opposite piece of work. You'll have like 3 stitches from your 3 double crochets, so you're just going to insert your hook into the first chain and just do a slip stitch, and then yarn over and do a double crochet into this chain 2 space, and then again insert your hook into the next stitch and just do a slip stitch, and then one more time you'll do a double crochet into the chain 2 space, find the opposite stitch on the other side and do a slip stitch. And that's how we're going to start and finish the ends of the cardigan, just to keep it a little bit more secure. But now you're going to move to this space here, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2 and 3. And then instead of going into the stitches, you're just going to go into the opposite space there, grab the yarn and slip stitch. And this is how we're going to work our way along the cardigan. So I'll show you one more time. Into the next space, 3 double crochets, three, and then the opposite space, insert your hook into the space and just do a slip stitch. And this is how we're joining the 2 backs of the cardigan. So these 2 extra rows will give you that little bit of space for the back of the baby and the neck. So work your way along. We're coming to the next space here with our 3 double crochets, and then you'll slip stitch to the opposite side. So pause the video and work your way along your cardigan, and I will meet you when I'm almost at the top of mine to show you how we're going to finish this last row of the back of the cardigan, and then we will start to join the shoulder seams and do a bit of a border. So I'll see you when I'm almost to the top here. So I'm almost to the top of mine. I've got 1 chain 2 space here and 3 double crochets on the other side. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that space and do a double crochet, and then find the first double crochet on the opposite side and slip stitch just like you did at the beginning, and again double crochet, find the next stitch on the opposite side and slip stitch, and then the last stitch here, sorry, not the last stitch, we'll do 1 more into the space, the chain 2 space, and then into the very last, well, that was like the top of the chain 3 really. We just grab the yarn and slip stitch, and then just do a chain 1, draw your yarn up and snip. So now if you turn your work over, you will have this space for the neck of the baby. You can see it's just a little bit further apart. And now what we're going to do is join our shoulder seams. So if you want to pause the video and finish off the back of your cardigan, and then meet me back here and I will show you how we're going to sew the shoulder seams. Okay, so now you can see what the back seam of my cardigan looks like. We're going to turn our work round, and what we're actually going to do is we're going to be working on the wrong side of our work now. So if you want to get your cardigan into place on the wrong side of your work, and now what we're going to do is join the shoulder seam. So I'm going to join in the colour that I finished with, which is white. You can do yours in whichever colour you want, and we're going to start off with a slip knot on our hook, and then we're going to find the 2 corners of the cardigan, those chain 2 corners, insert our hook through those corners, grab the yarn and do a single crochet, and go through 1 more time and do a single crochet just to keep it secure. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to slip stitch through the front 2 V stitches and the back. So the easiest way to do this is your clusters of 3. So if you count 3 for each cluster, you'll know you've put your hook into the right stitches. So that's the front stitch, and that is the back stitch of the 2 first double crochets of my cluster. So I'm going to grab the yarn, and you can either single crochet, like yarn over and pull through, or you can just slip stitch, which is what I'm going to do, because then you get less of a ridge. Then we're going to insert our hook into the top of the next stitch and the corresponding stitch behind, and grab the yarn and slip stitch, and then the 3rd stitch of this cluster of 3, grab the yarn and slip stitch. and we're just going to slip stitch our way like this all the way along until you get to this corner here, and I will meet you back just before we reach that corner. So keep slip stitching all the way along and I will meet you back soon. Okay, I've done my last slip stitch into the last double crochet of mine, and here we come to this chain 2 space. So insert your hook through that space and through the space at the back and just do a single crochet and another single crochet, then chain 1, draw your yarn up and snip, and that has finished our shoulder seam for that side. Now we're going to do exactly the same here, but we'll start in this space here, and we will do a slip knot like we did before. Place that onto our hook, insert your hook into the corner space and into that corner space behind, grab the yarn and single crochet, insert your hook into the same space and single crochet, and now you're going back into each stitch, the front one and the corresponding one behind, and slip stitching. So do that all the way along until you get to the end, and when you get to the corner space here, it's just 2 single crochets in that corner space and then just fasten off. So I will meet you back once I've got this side finished. So I've got to the end of this side, and I'm just going to insert my hook into the chain 2 space, do a single crochet, another single crochet, and then chain 1, draw my yarn up and then just snip. And now you can turn your work onto the right side. And with this pattern, sometimes the sleeves can be a little bit big. I mean, it's easier to dress a baby with bigger sleeves to get their little arms in, but you can see that's how the shoulder seams look now. So that's finished. And I think what we're going to do is, I did up my hook to a 4.5 actually, so I'm going to drop down a hook size and go to a 3.5, and we can add some. So like I did on this sleeve, I just did a couple of rows of single crochet. So I'll show you how to do that now, and then you can do the second sleeve on your own, and we will meet back after that. So put your slip knot on your hook, and I usually start kind of like underneath the armhole. So pick any stitch to go into, insert your hook, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. You'll have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2. That will be your first stitch, and you're just going to place a single crochet into each stitch all the way around, and I will meet you back when I get around my sleeve to show you what we're going to do next. So just 1 single crochet. If you're not sure where your first stitch is, place a little stitch marker in there now, and single crochet into the top of each double crochet all the way around, and I will meet you back when I'm around mine. When you arrive to the join where you join the shoulder seams with 2 single crochets, I put 1 single crochet into that space, 1 into the middle stitch, and 1 into the next chain 2 space, and then continue on doing your single crochets into every stitch. So pause the video and I'll do your single crochets, and I will meet you when I've got round my sleeve. Okay, I've worked my way around. I've come back to my first single crochet now, and I'm going to insert my hook into that first single crochet that we did, grab the yarn and slip stitch, then chain 1, insert my hook back into that stitch, that little stitch right there, and single crochet, That's your first stitch of this row, round I mean, and then just place 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way around again, and I will meet you back when I get around. Just 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way around. Okay, I've worked my way around. I'm back to my first stitch again, and we're going to insert our hook into the first, not the chain one that we did, the first single crochet, grab the yarn and pull through for a slip stitch. And you can see already that that is kind of going down a hook size, is kind of pulled the sleeve in a little bit, so it's not so baggy as that is. You can see it kind of goes in a little bit. So we're just going to do one more round on this sleeve, and then you can work the next sleeve by yourself. Pause the video and get the next sleeve done, and I'll meet you back after that. So we're going to chain 1, insert our hook into the first stitch, grab the yarn, pull up a loop and pull through 2. That's our first single crochet. Place your stitch marker in if you're not sure where the stitch is, and work your way all the way around. And when you get to your last stitch, you will just slip stitch into the first stitch that you did, and slip stitch and fasten off, and that will be that sleeve done. Then go off and do the second sleeve, and I will meet you back to show you how we're going to do the border at the front and add the buttons on. So see you soon. Okay, I finished my last single crochet on the sleeve. I know I told you to slip stitch into your first single crochet that you did, but if you actually finish your single crochet and draw your yarn up, I just want to show you a better way of finishing off the sleeve. So what we're going to do is, if you grab your darning needle, and we'll yarn the needle, and instead of slip stitching and making a knot, if you go in through the back of the first stitch and pull that in, and then go through the back of the last stitch that you did and pull that in, that gives you like an invisible finish. So just pull that in tight, and then on the inside just weave this tail in so that it fastens it off securely, just going back and forth for a few stitches in opposite directions, and that will keep it nice and secure. And you can see, you can't tell where the finish is on that. There's no knot or bump in the sleeve like there would be if we just inserted our hook into that stitch and did a single crochet. So that should be enough. I just snip my yarn, and now you can see that that sleeve is done, and it looks fine to me. So if you go off and do the other sleeve, I will be back, meet you back after I've done mine, to show you how we're going to do the border around our cardigan. Okay, I'm back. I've completed both the cuffs of my sleeves, and now we're going to work the border for our cardigan. And I think again we'll do 3 rows of single crochet like we did for the sleeves. So if you want to start off, change back to your hook size for what you used to crochet the cardigan. I know we jumped down a size just to cinch that in a little bit, but place your slip knot on the hook that you used for to crochet your cardigan. And I think we will start somewhere at the back. So if you pick any the top of any double crochet to go through, I'm going to go here and do my first single crochet. Place a stitch marker again into that stitch if you're not sure where it is, and if you place a single crochet into the top of each double crochet until we get to the part where we joined. Now if you've slip stitch, it's a bit difficult to get into the stitch, but just persevere. We've got 3 double crochets here to single crochet into. Okay, and then when you come to where we did the join, if you place 1 single crochet into that space there, 1 single crochet into the double crochet, jump over that little middle bit and place a single crochet into the next double crochet, into the chain 2 space, and then we're back to our stitches. So we'll just place 1 single crochet into every stitch now until we come to the corner of our cardigan. And if you just place your single crochets all the way along, when we get to the corner space, I will meet you back. Okay, I've reached the corner space, and what we're going to do with the corner space is we're going to place 2 single crochets into that space, do a chain 2 and place another 2 single crochets into that space. And then when you come around for your second row, you're going to work into that chain 2 space there for the corner. But now we'll just, I think we'll skip that 1 stitch there and then just place our single crochets into the rest of the stitches, because it might bunch up a little bit too much there. So work your way all the way up this side of the cardigan, and when I'm almost to the shoulder, I will meet you back to show you how we're going to work around the neck. Okay, I've made my way up all the way along the side of the cardigan and done my last single crochet into that double crochet. Now we have these 2 corners, so we're going to single crochet into that corner, single crochet into the next corner, single crochet in between that double crochet, leave that center and jump into that. Let's just get these tails out of the way. That when it's underneath, so we're going to miss that bit there and just insert our hook in between that next double crochet with a single crochet, then into the chain 2 space with a single crochet, and this chain 2 space here with a single crochet, and then we just work our way into our stitches again all the way along this side of the cardigan until you come to the bottom, and then I will meet you there to show you how to work that corner again. Okay, I'm here at the corner. Like we missed the first stitch going up on the opposite side, we'll do the same again. So we'll skip that last stitch there and just place 2 single crochets into the corner space, chain 2 and 2 single crochets into the corner space. And then what you will do is work your way into each single crochet here until you come to your first stitch. And to be honest with you, that looks absolutely fine as it is, but I'm going to do a few more rows of single crochet. So if you want to continue with me, just keep following along and I will guide you through. So we're single crocheting into every stitch all the way along until we come to our first stitch. If you don't want to do any more rows of single crochet, you can just, when you do your last single crochet there, just draw your yarn up and finish off like I showed you how to do on the sleeves. But if you want to do some more rows, just follow along with me. So I'm just going to single crochet and I will meet you back when I get to that first single crochet. Okay, I'm back. I've worked my last single crochet. I'm now going to insert my hook into the first single crochet that we did and do a slip stitch. And now we'll chain 1, insert our hook into that first stitch and do a single crochet. And now we're just going to place single crochets into each single crochet all the way along, and when I get to the corner I will be back to show you how we're going to work the corner. and the corners will be the same on every round that we do now. So I will see you when I get to the corner. Okay, I've done my last single crochet here, and now we come to this chain 2 space that we do. So I'm going to do 1 single crochet. I think 1 single crochet might be enough. I think 2 might be too many. Let's see what happens if we do 2. Chain 2 and 2. Oh no, it's okay. Let's do 2 single crochets, a chain 2 and 2 single crochets, and we'll skip that first stitch and then just single crochet into every stitch all the way around until you get to the next corner, and I will meet you back there to show you one last time how we are going to, actually I think 2 is too many there. I'm going to just do 1 single crochet in the corner, a chain 2 and 1 single crochet, and we won't skip that first stitch, we'll crochet into it. So that looks better, yes. So work your way around, and when you get to the corner, it's 1 single crochet, a chain 2 and 1 single crochet. But I will meet you there just to show you one last time how to work the corner, and then if you do any more rows it will be exactly the same. Okay, I'm back at the corner again. Remember, we're doing 1 single crochet, a chain 2, 1 single crochet, and then we start inserting our hook into all the single crochets that we did on the previous round. And when you get to the first single crochet that you did, you'll insert your hook into there and slip stitch, chain 1 and single crochet into that stitch and go all the way around one last time. I'm just going to do 1 more row after this, and then I will be back to show you how we're going to attach the buttons. So see you back when I've finished my last round. Okay, I've done my last single crochet. I'm going to draw my yarn up and snip, and then just yarn my needle and sew this end in by doing the invisible finish again. So if you go behind your first stitch, come round and go through the back of your last stitch and just pull that in, you'll get that neat invisible look, and then just weave your needle through back and forth in different directions. After you've done this, you might want to pause the video, go sew all your ends in, and then come back and I'll show you how to do the buttons. I'm going to do the buttons and then go and finish mine off, sewing in all my ends. You have to really make sure you sew these ends in well, because babies' things get washed a lot and you don't want your lovely work coming apart. So there we are. You have that invisible finish there, and my baby cardigan or jacket is almost done. I'm really happy with how it's turned out so far. So now what we're going to do is sew the buttons on. I've just got 3 buttons here, and we didn't make buttonholes because we're going to use these holes here for the buttonholes. So the holes in your stitches here along the side. So for the girl cardigan, I sewed the buttons on this side, so we're going to sew the buttons on the right hand side for the boy. Is that right? Yeah, right hand side, yes. No, this is on the right hand side, so for the boy it's on the left hand side. So that's on that side, so where the buttons are going to go down this side. So I've got these 3 buttons here which we're going to sew on, and then the buttonholes will be these holes going up on the cardigan. So I think I missed the first hole and lined it up with the second. So if you hold your work together and you see where, I'm not sure if you can see this properly, if you see where your second buttonhole comes to, just pop your crochet hook in there to mark it, and grab your yarn and needle with the colour that you finished in. And if we look carefully, we've got that lined up there. So our first button is going to go here, I think, lined up with that buttonhole there. Yeah, so if you just pull your yarn through like you're ready to sew your button on, and then just continue to sew your button on like this. I'm just going to get those out of the way because I'm going to go through there again. Whoops, sorry. Just pull that tight. Then we're going to go up through the button. And down again. I'll just do this a few times until the button feels like it's really like secure. Because we're doing it with yarn, you can probably only go through so many times, but just keep doing it until it feels tight. For me, that feels tight now. And then just pull it really tight. If you just put your needle underneath and come up, and then just loop that round the button, insert your needle and just pull tight. If you do that about 2 or 3 times, that should be perfectly tight. And then I just go out the other end and then just weave that through a few times, and that should be really secure. Then we can snip it. And if we go to that first hole here that we said would be for the button, that's perfectly in place. So now we're going to move up. What did I do? We missed, what did we do with that one? So we missed one hole and did it in the other. So we're going to miss that hole and put our next button in that place there. And do exactly what I showed you. Just line your needle up with that hole there onto here. That's about right. I'm just going to undo that to make it easier to sew. So if you go through that twice and then grab your next needle and sew it on exactly how I showed you how to do it. And then we'll do that button up, skip one hole and line the next one up and sew that on. And I will be back when I've sewn all 3 of my buttons on. Okay, and there we are. I have my buttons on. I'm really happy with how my little jacket has turned out. And yeah, all we have to do now is go and sew all our ends in, and yeah, then we're done. So I hope you've been able to follow along with me. If you've got any questions and I haven't explained something properly, please just drop me a message and I promise I will get back to you. And if you've enjoyed watching this tutorial, please consider subscribing to my channel so that you don't miss another video of mine when my next tutorial comes out. So I hope you have a lovely evening and see you all soon. Bye for now. So I decided to do a single crochet row around all of the border of my cardigan and around the sleeves, as I think this finishes it off really nicely. and I'm really pleased with how it's all turned out. So now I'm going to wrap it up and gift it to the baby it was crocheted for. And yeah, I hope you've been able to follow my tutorial, and I hope to see you all again in my next video. Thank you all so much for watching. See you all soon. Bye.